Hello, you're watching ERi-TV and welcome to English News Broadcast. These are the top stories. 19 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. Eritrean nationals abroad organized memorial service. Prolonged drought takes heavy toll in Kenya. And longest partial eclipse in centuries bathes moon in red. The local news. We have an announcement from the Ministry of Health. 19 patients have been diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today at quarantine centers and testing stations in the central and southern regions. Out of this, 13 patients are from quarantine center 5 and testing stations in Tiravolo 2, Arbaat Asmara 1, Maitemene 1, Gejeret 1, Sembel 1, Paraduba 1, and Hamberti 1 central region. 6 patients are from testing stations in Mandefara, southern region. Accordingly, the total number of confirmed cases in the country to date has increased to 7,175, and the total number of recovered patients stands at 6,962, while the number of deaths stands at 54. Ministry of Health, Asmara, November 21st, 2021. Eritrean nationals residing in various Scandinavian countries, Russia and the U.S. organized memorial service on the passing away of veteran freedom fighters Mr. Al-Amin Mohammed Saeed, Secretary of the PFDJ, and Brigadier General Negash Tesfazion. At the event organized in Stockholm, Sweden, Mr. Jonas Manna, Chargé d'Affaires at the Eritrean Embassy in Sweden, reminded the nationals to implement the trust of the fallen heroes by reinforcing their participation in national affairs, as well as work to transfer the noble examples and history to posterity, stating that the memorial service is the program to renew Eritrea's pledge to implement the trust of Eritrean martyrs by strengthening contribution. Mr. Sirak Bahalabi, Head of Public and Community Affairs, called on the youth to raise awareness and strengthen organizational capacity with a view to reinforce participation in national affairs. At the event, brief history of the veteran fighters, Mr. Al-Amin Mohammed Saeed and Brigadier General Negash Tesfazion was presented. Similar memorial services were organized in several cities of Sweden and Norway, including Uppsala, Örebro, Umeå, Jönköping, Oslo, Stavanger, and Bergen, among others. In related news, the Embassy of Eritrea and Russia Federation organized a memorial service in a virtual format in which a number of nationals residing in Moscow and other cities of Russia participated. The nationals expressed readiness to reinforce contribution with a view to implement the trust of the fallen heroes. Nationals in Minnesota, the U.S., also organized similar memorial service on the passing away of Mr. Al-Amin Mohammed Saeed, Secretary of the PFDJ, and Brigadier General Negash Tesfazion. The Ministry of Agriculture, in cooperation with the National Confederation of the Eritrean Workers, organized training for 20 beef farmers in Foro subzone. The trainees are from the all administrative areas in Foro subzone and were provided with 2 beehives each. At the handing over of ceremonies conducted recently, Mr. Asmerom Shumendi from the Ministry of Agriculture office in the subzone called on the trainees to practically apply the knowledge they have gained and establish a cooperative association for a productive outcome. The trainees said they were engaged in traditional beef farming activities, expressed readiness to implement the knowledge they gained and introduce modern beef farming activities. Now back with international news after a short break. Welcome back. The global COVID-19 cases have exceeded to more than 257.7 million, and the death toll has reached 5.1 million today. And the total number of recovered patients has exceeded 332 million, this according to World Meters. The United States remains the worst-hit country. Britain recorded a total of 9.8 million COVID-19 cases and has recorded more than 40,000 new COVID-19 infections in the last 24 hours. The number of COVID-19 cases in Germany has risen to more than 5.3 million, and the death toll has exceeded 99,000. 4 variants of the virus, namely Alpha, Beta, Gamma, and Delta, pose the greatest public health threat so far to the world. More than 100 countries have found the variants of COVID-19, and the proportion of the Delta variant has exceeded 50% in over 90 countries. Absence of rainfall in Kenya pushed pastoralists and their livestock to the brink of disaster, with 2.4 million people predicted to struggle to find food. The grisly spectacle of dismembered animals rotting beneath the scorching sun is the result of a prolonged drought that has been pushing pastoral communities and the livestock they rely on to the brink of disaster. Since September, much of Kenya's north has received less than 30% of normal rainfall, the worst short rain season recorded in decades. This is according to the Famine Early Warning Systems Network. The lack of rainfall has wiped out pastures and exacerbated food and water shortages. Experts predict that if there is no rainfall by the end of the year, it will be the third consecutive poor rainy season since December 2020. The longest partial lunar eclipse in nearly 600 years has bathed the moon in red as sky watchers around the world enjoy the celestial show. The moon appeared red to the observers in North America and parts of South America and was expected to be seen in Australia and Northeast Asia. The lunar disk was almost completely cast in shadow as it moved behind the Earth, reddening 99% of its face. The spectacle lasted more than 3 hours and 28 minutes, marking the longest partial eclipse since 1440. Space scientists expect it will not be repeated until the far-off future. A longer total lunar eclipse, however, is expected on November 8, 2022. This is according to NASA. And now a reminder of the top stories. 19 patients diagnosed positive for COVID-19 and tests carried out today. Eritrean nationals abroad organized memorial service. Prolonged drought takes heavy toll in Kenya. And longest partial eclipse in centuries bases moon in red. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.